Hey there, and welcome back to our podcast, where we learn English together in a fun, exciting, and very different way. Here, we practice shadowing to improve our listening and speaking skills, but not with boring sentences from textbooks. No, no, we travel the world together, one country at a time, discovering new places, cultures, food, and stories. So you can learn English naturally, just like you're living the adventure yourself. In each episode, I'll take you with me on a real journey, sharing what I saw, who I met, and the amazing things I experienced. And today, our trip begins in the United States. Pack your bags, grab your headphones, and let's go explore America together. Before begin, don't forget like, share, and subscribe. Let's begin. The night before my flight, I could barely sleep. I kept thinking about what I would see, what I would eat, and how it would feel to be in the USA for the first time. At the airport, I checked my passport for the 10th time, just to be sure. The flight was long, more than 12 hours, but the excitement kept me awake. I watched a couple of movies, listened to some music, and practiced a few English phrases I might need. When the pilot announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, we are now approaching New York City," my heart started beating faster. I looked out of the window and saw a sea of lights below. It was beautiful. The moment I stepped out of the plane, I noticed how different everything felt. The air smelled of coffee and fresh bread from the airport cafes. Announcements in English filled the space. Clear, fast, and professional. People moved quickly, pulling their suitcases, checking their phones. At passport control, the officer asked me, "What's the purpose of your visit?" I smiled and said, "Tourism." He stamped my passport and said, "Welcome to the United States." Those words made me feel so happy and proud. The next morning, I woke up early. The sunlight was peeking through tall buildings outside my hotel window. I grabbed my camera, put on my most comfortable shoes, and set out to explore. Times Square was my first stop. It was exactly like the movies. Giant billboards flashing, yellow taxis everywhere, and the sound of traffic mixed with street music. I bought a coffee and just stood there, watching people from all over the world. Then I walked to Central Park. It was peaceful and green, with people jogging, walking dogs, and touching on benches reading books. I sat near a small lake and took a deep breath. This was the New York I had always dreamed about. One of the best parts of traveling is meeting new people. In a small cafe, I met a woman named Sarah. She was friendly and curious about my trip. We talked about our favorite cities, and she recommended me some hidden spots in New York that only locals know. It felt so nice to connect with someone so easily, even though we were strangers just an hour ago. There were a few things that surprised me about the USA. First, the tipping culture. You're expected to leave a tip in restaurants, cafes, and even when you take a taxi. Second, the portion sizes. A small drink in America is the size of a large drink in my country. Third, the friendliness. People really do say, "Have a nice day," even to strangers. It made the city feel warm and welcoming. Food is always a big part of my trips. I had my first Nunu-K pizza. A huge slice with melting cheese and a thin, crispy crust. I also tried bagels with cream cheese for breakfast, and they were perfect with coffee. One night, I went to a diner. Shiny red seats, a jukebox playing old songs, and a waitress who kept refilling my cup. It felt like being inside an American movie scene. After a few days, I decided to visit Washington, D.C. The bus ride was about 4 hours, and the scenery was beautiful: green fields, small towns, and rivers. In Washington, I saw the White House, the Lincoln Memorial, and the Washington Monument. The city was cleaner and quieter than New York. Standing in front of the Lincoln Memorial made me think about history and how one person can make such a big difference in the world. Travel always comes with surprises. One day, I took the wrong subway line and ended up in Brooklyn instead of Manhattan. But it turned out to be a happy mistake. I found a small bakery with the best cheesecake I've ever eaten. Another time, I ordered a small coffee, but it was so big I couldn't finish it. I laughed and thought, everything really is bigger in America. Trip taught me that traveling is the best way to learn a language. I didn't just study English, I lived it. I heard it in conversations, read it on signs, used it to order food, ask for directions, and make new friends. By the end of my trip, I felt more confident speaking English than ever before. Thank you for joining me on my first journey to the USA. I hope you enjoyed traveling with me and practicing English along the way. Remember, shadowing is more than just repeating words. It's living the language. Next time, we'll visit another country and discover more stories, more food, and more English. Until then, keep practicing, keep smiling, and keep dreaming big. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a lesson. And of course, share this video with a friend who's also learning English. You might just inspire them to join our journey. See you next time. Bye-bye.